Well, I deleted the tomato videos so I could have some more room to do a little selfie. Because I haven't done one of these kind of ones in a while. You know, stupid where you just sit like the guy in Sustenance and what's it called? Shelter. Shelter and Sustenance or something on that order. Where he just sits and talks for hours about the Bible and the roots of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and year one and stuff like that. You know? Do I look like Popeye? Do I look like Seth Rogen? I could be a little, just a little bit older. Be a little older. They go, grow up, Whoa. You grow up so much that you spin around and then you're back to childhood again. Where somebody's got to feed you and you got no teeth and they got to wipe your butt. And if you are unfortunate to actually live that long where you can't even walk any longer on your own power, then you're like Jabba the Blub. That's disgusting, yeah? Who wants to be like that? Anyway, I think it's atrocious what's going on in our society. How our American society has deteriorated to the point where everything's gossip and fake news and bouncing off walls like some kind of handball in a handball court. It's like some competition of accusations flying this way and that way. Everybody's guilty, nobody's innocent. We all seen it. It's like, you're in a parade and there's the drum majorette, throwing a fucking baton up in the world, you didn't see that shit? Come on. You go, what's 2 thumbs up? I says, that's like when they used to put thumb screws on niggers when they brought them across from the old world to the so-called new world and they tortured them. One nigger to another, man. Hey, you can't say that word. Well, I just did a couple times. Fucking sue me. I'm tired of all this gentrification and gender emasculation, e-gentrification, where you're not allowed to use certain terminology anymore because it's no longer accepted socially, gender specific, male, female, oh no, that's off limits. That's sexual harassment. Now you gotta have a transgendered, neutered society and vocabulary. That's bullshit. That's 1984 newspeak, That's the stuff that Alex Jones raves against every day. And who can blame him? Who can blame him, I think he's a big, fuzzy, lovely teddy bear. I'd give him a big hug and squeeze. I think he's all right. I mean, he might be a little manically depressed or jacked up on his juice and his brain force stuff, but hey, you gotta be these days. You gotta be a warrior, You gotta be a social justice warrior, like Superman or something. You gotta get in the phone booth and don the cape and the stuff, the tights and the super sperm emblem, and get down to being, fart man or whatever it is. People want to be serious, but they want to be like everything's a joke, and you can't. It's either serious or it's all just fuck you, it's a joke, and the joke's on you. And I don't think it's a joke. So, when bullets are flying through the air and there's fucking remote controlled predator drones strafing, innocent people and killing and murdering in all kinds of parts of the world that you don't even know about because they keep it top secret from you. And meanwhile, they're sitting there with like red and blue lights on a cop car flashing back and forth in Congress going, oh, but we don't want the tax money taken away from the poor and the elderly and the needy and the sick and the dying, but we can't afford the payment, so we're gonna just stand up here and not really resist this complete tax farce, because it's not a tax cut, it's a tax increase, an increase on the poor to give to the rich of the world and the wealthy corporations, which are owned by the rich. You know, and they don't pay taxes anyways, as it is. So why should they get a tax cut when the people that pay all the taxes aren't getting a tax cut? They're getting a tax increase. And they say that will stimulate the economy. No, it won't. What they should do is give more money to the poor and let the poor spend the money, and it will go up. You know, it's like a Christmas tree. It goes up. So you fertilize the root, you know, feed the roots, and then the nutrients go up the tree. It's a basic tree philosophy, forestry 101, you know. Nurture the forest and the trees will grow. But they're not really interested in nurturing the forest. They're more interested in logging and timbering, you know. You have to look at it like that. They're logging. They're thinning things out, draining the swamp, so to speak. That's a euphemism for killing people. You know, that's what it is. My birthday present. Let's use it. Homegrown something. It's not that good, but it's better than nothing. You know, nothing doesn't work too good. Although it works just fine if you're into that, you know, doing nothing and meditating. Anyways, I'm 64 this year, coming up. So, do I really care? Yeah. Yeah, I do. That's why I'm doing this. I really care. I care what my grandparents taught me. I care about what my parents taught me. I care about the direction our society's headed, you know. And the quality of life, what we've worked for. All these years, we've put in hard work. Got up early, drove many millions of miles, you know, at least tens of thousands of miles anyways. I don't know, I didn't put a gauge on it. Somebody did, I didn't. You know, somebody's got the data somewhere. How many miles is it? I could sit down and give you a rough guess, but it would take me, you know, a day to get all the facts and data together. You take 40 years of work in driving back and forth to work, walking, taking the mass transportation, riding your bicycle, whatever it is that you're doing, and you put in some miles, man. So, you know, a person that's retired should not be despised, and they should not have to pay extra tax, and they should not have their life, quality of life diminish, or their health coverage be taken away, certainly, and they shouldn't be deprived of the things that they worked hard for to put on the table for their family and themselves during their life, you know. And they know who they are, because if you didn't, then you don't qualify. It's just that simple. So they're talking about cutting benefits and entitlements to people that have paid for it in advance, which is to say they're thieves, you know. So Trump and associates are thieves, and their tax cut is really a tax increase on the poorest citizens of our country. I don't know how else that can be said. Meanwhile, in Congress you have a play act of red versus blue. And it's all a farce. And meanwhile, the government sits as a dictatorial power headed by, you know, Satan. You know, the mob. You know, under the guise of the Vatican, some false religion, you know, witchcraft, hocus pocus, you know, black magic, war, killing, you know, stuff. Black Hand Society. You know, people need to understand what runs the world. Murder Inc. That's who's running it. They disguise themselves as some kind of saints, but they're not. They're murderers, and they're jailers, and they're thieves of innocence, and they're sodomites. And that's the truth of this country. Unfortunately, I've lived this long to see it and speak it. Anyways, that's enough. You know, they're gonna put my younger brother, in prison for a couple of years at least. I don't know what his sentence is gonna be, because nobody tells me anything, and they keep me in the dark about everything. And I try that I might to get some information, and I've been gagged out, shut out, cut out of my own life, in my own country, by my own family, by my own people, in my own neighborhood, in my own town, by the authorities, and I'm done. It's Trapper Ed.